We could not let this week go by without celebrating one of my favorite weeks of the year, Shark Week. Herrick Hovland is a local shark expert with the Florida Aquarium. Good morning.
Hi. How are you doing?
So yeah, I own it. I'm a huge fan of Shark Week. I know it's been around for several weeks. Are you a fan of Shark Week? Because I know there's always some, there's a lot of publicity around it. There's a lot of talk around it.
I think that's just true of sharks. When people think of sharks, it might bring them in with a fear, but you catch them with a fascination. And anything that gets you thinking about sharks, talking about sharks without having attack in the title, without having blood and gore, these are fascinating and diverse creatures that really need our help.
Well, and that's what I was just going to ask. What is it about sharks that is so fascinating to people? They've been around forever, they've survived so much, and yet we still need to learn so much about them, correct?
We have shared an Earth that for about 400 million years, the sharks have been here. We've been here a little less than that, quite a bit less than that. So we really only started to encounter sharks for about 100 years, where it became popular to go into the beaches, go into the water, where the two can meet, and sometimes accidents happen. But even when they do happen, they're extremely rare. Even if it's the most in Florida, it might be 19 or so in a year in a whole world of people, maybe about 50 to 100 attacks per year, or bites in general. So we have a diversity of sharks in our own waters in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, again, people watching this week, they get excited about it. How much really are we going to see? I'd imagine a lot is my assumption.
What's at our own beaches? Yeah, well, anything from bonnethead sharks to whale sharks. Anything from about a meter to bigger than a bus.
And
everything in between. We do have whale sharks. Seriously? They've been seeing them more and more right out off of Clearwater, out in the Gulf. Yeah, we've got quite a diverse ecosystem out there.
What about bull sharks? That's the one that makes me nervous. Should it? Is that
bull
okay?
sharks.
Yeah,
yes. No, bull sharks are just a bigger version of other sharks that has a great set of tools. They also are very adaptable. They can move not just from the saltwater environments, but right into fresh water. So let's remember now too, even with bull sharks out there, the bay is their natural habitat. They go into murky waters, up into rivers and everything. Those are areas that you don't necessarily want to go swimming. So follow some good rules of thumb so you can avoid those accidents. Like I say, when you're on your way to the beach, if you want to have a safe day at the beach, put on your seatbelt and don't text. That's the dangerous part.
No, that is
once
true.
You get there, once you get there, you're sharing an environment with at least a dozen different types of sharks here in the Tampa Bay area. And if you go when it's nice and clear out and sunny and the sharks can see you through the water, use all those diverse senses that they have to avoid weird objects like us in the water.
Well, I was out at St. Pete this past weekend and I saw people swimming out at, sunset time.
Yes,
I mean,
it's
is that
golden hour?
Yeah, I know. That's
it's
why I was shocked.
Dinner hour for sharks. So it's not the best choice. Even when people make the wrong decisions, though, it's such an unusual circumstance to get into an accident with the sharks. It does happen. We may see more from year to year, but the rate is not going up. But what is going up is our population and the 100 million people that come to Florida to visit our beaches. And out of those 100 million and so many that go to the waters, again, less than 20 get into an accident with a shark. The shark populations themselves are on the decline.
Well, and the fishing popularity, everyone's fishing these days. And for example, I went to a beach the other day and I saw somebody reel in a shark on the way to the beach.
Yep, they're out there.
I mean, it kind of makes me nervous that if we're swimming where we're fishing.
And that's not a good choice, right? There's a lot of beach. Let the piers and the fishing take place there. And if you see, bait fish, there's a reason they call them that. That can be food to sharks. Go to the areas where there's lots of people. The more people, the better, because that gives the sharks an opportunity to recognize what's going on there, and they are going to steer clear. They're smart. They've been around for 400 million years for a reason, because they avoid people like us.
So they're not out hunting us?
Absolutely not. I think we'd know it. I think that would probably been in the headlines today. Sharks change their mind, now hunting.
Well, let's talk about the aquarium. And again, as Shark Week, more people are watching it. We get more excited about sharks this time of year. The Florida Aquarium is a great time to come in and learn about them, see them in action.
Bring that excitement to the aquarium.
Tell us about the sharks that are at the aquarium.
Well, that's the thing. One of the best ways you can get to know our sharks is get to know our sharks. From our sand tiger sharks, those are the big ones with the long white teeth. I sound like Monty Python. They're a good 10 feet long, 200-300 pounds. And you can splash right in the water with those sharks. You can come and swim with the sharks, dive with the sharks. I know you're smiling under that grimace there, and I can turn that grimace into a smile. I've seen it happen to my nieces where they're like, we're going in the water with the sharks, and they come out like, we're going in the water with the sharks. It's the best thing. But we also have nurse sharks, and we have a whole plethora of sharks. We have small bamboo sharks that you can come and you can feel what they feel like.
Well, and I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old at home. How important is it, do you think, that we maybe have that conversation with our kids about sharks and make it educational, make it
It's
smart?
the best time to introduce them to sharks. before they see Jaws.
I know, right?
I mean, I think
I was
everybody's
nervous
first.
about what they would see with Shark Week this week.
Yep, and it's been some great content.
Yeah.
And again, whatever gets you watching and talking about sharks, and you slip in that content, just like when you come to the aquarium, when you see people in the water with sharks, even if you're not, it can turn your whole view around.
Well, I just love that. I love your passion. You can tell how passionate you are about it. As we close, 4th of July coming up, a great place to come to the aquarium.
The best view in Tampa Bay, from the top of the Florida Aquarium or out on the BG, the ship as well, or not the BG, but on our catamaran, you can see them from the water, from the rooftop. Best view in Tampa Bay to see fireworks on July 4th.
Right, and again, it coincides with Shark Week, so it's pretty awesome.
It's something to celebrate.
Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Absolutely.
Again, I love your
My pleasure.
your passion about it, so thank you so much.